and welcome to another Lawn Fawn video. Today we are introducing two brand new dies, Stripey Backdrop and Flower Border. So let's go ahead and check them out. Now first up we have Flower Border, and I love the adorable little flowers and tulips that this die makes. It is just too cute. And one of the really cool things about it is we made the hill match the stitched hillside border. So you can see there how that hill is a perfect match for the Flower Border die. So if you cut your stitched hillside out like this, you can lay it right on top and give those flowers a little stitched flower bed to go out of. I love that you can do it either with the stitched edge or without. Now here's a fun way to get a different look out of the Flower Border die, and that's by chopping off some of those flowers. So you can see it's less flowers there, which is kind of a cool different look, and just the tulips. Now with the flowers that you chop off of your Flower Border, you can use those separately. I think it'd be so cute around some stamped images. So not only do you get a border, but you also get individual flowers with this die. Now here's a look at two cards that I've created using Flower Border. This was in the Intro to Fairy Friends video, and I am going to link that right there, not only in the description below, but also you can click on the video too. And you can see that I added color to the flowers by cutting off the tops and coloring them with some inks, which was really fun. Now the card on the left, that's a video coming up for Friday, but I used cardstock to color those flowers in, so you guys will see that one soon. Now I thought it would be fun to focus on the Stripey Backdrop die, and we designed this die so that if you take it and flip it over on itself, you can actually make a really cool lattice with this die. So not only can you get the stripe look, you can also get the lattice look with it, which I think is so cool. Now first I'm going to play with the stripe idea. So you can take your colored cardstock like this guava and layer white behind it to kind of get this pink and white look. Another way to get this striped look is to cut another color cardstock. I'm using black licorice here. I'm going to cover an entire piece of white cardstock in tape runner so that there's a lot of adhesive on it. Then I'm going to go ahead and lay my stripey backdrop right on top, and then use the negative pieces from the other die. And so this is going to create a black and pink stripe, which is totally 80s and totally awesome. And it's going to be nice and flush because we're filling in all of those gaps. And I just think it's a really, really cool look. You could have so much fun with different color combos with this too. So here I wanted to show you the comparison. That's flush, and then here you're going to kind of have the bumps because the cardstock is behind it. So two cool looks, and I love them both. Now this Stripey Backdrop die is standard size, so 5.5 by 4.25. So I'm going to take my largest stitched rectangle frames dies, which is also 5.5 by 4.25, and create a frame around this striped backdrop. And I think the frame really finishes it off, adds that little stitching detail, and I think it looks just so, so cool. Now I'm going to put aside this cool striped border and go ahead and move back to the lattice. So to create the lattice, I'm going to use some tape runner and put it down all of the stripes and also all the way around that striped backdrop. Flip it over and put it on top of the other stripey white backdrop. And now I've created this really cool lattice. I'm going to put some mermaid cardstock behind it, and now that's kind of the sky showing through this gray lattice. So I'll add a bunch of adhesive to that and layer that there. Now here I have some noble fir cardstock cut to 5.5 inches wide, and I'm going to use my meadow border die to cut some grass, and the flowers that come in the meadow border die to cut some flowers out of guava cardstock. Now here is the new Celebration Scripty Sayings, which has all of the holidays that you need throughout the year. It's a great addition to Winter Scripty Sayings and of course the original Scripty Sayings. And right now I'm using a powder tool to make sure that I don't have any embossing powder that's going to stick anywhere but where I'm stamping with my Versamark ink, which is a super sticky ink. So I'm going to stamp with that ink, make sure I press really, really well. And then I can use my white heat embossing powder, and because I use the powder tool, the heat embossing powder is only going to stick to the sticky ink part. So you'll see there it's looking pretty good. And now I can heat it up with my heat tool and have a nice bright white sentiment to go along with my white lattice. Now I'm using some foam tape to put down my grass, and then foam tape to layer all of these cute tulips on the tops of the grass. I just love the idea of these flowers growing up the lattice. Now here is the bunny from Hello Baby. I love this bunny so much. So I just colored him in nice and quick, used his coordinating die to cut him out, and now he's ready for the card. And the next thing I wanted to do was use the butterfly from Meadow Borders. So I'm using my VO1 purple marker here to color some cardstock, and then I cut it out with my die so that I'll have a purple butterfly to go with my card. Now here I am cutting a guava border to kind of set off that whole card and so that it coordinates with the flowers. I'm going to put my bunny on with some foam adhesive and also my pretty purple flower around there. And that's for my mom because she loves lavender. Now I'm going to lay my lattice onto my guava backdrop, and then I can create a card here that's going to be 4.5 by 5 3/4. And I'm going to lay that whole card backdrop right on there. And I think this is just so pretty. It's a fun way to use your colored cardstocks and get a cool new look out of the stripy backdrop. So now that we've gone all pretty and flowery, I'm gonna go totally 80s. So I'm getting out Critters Ever After, and I love that dragon and unicorn and castle, and I'm gonna use this unicorn on my cool stripy backdrop. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but Critters Ever After was actually a part of Zooey Deschanel's holiday gift guide in People magazine in 2012. So I thought I'd show you guys that because it just was so exciting that clear stamps were in People magazine. So now that I have my unicorn ready, I've used one of my stitch rectangles to cut a mermaid piece, and here I've got my puffy cloud border and some awesome glitter paper that I just love. So I used the same stitch rectangle to cut that, and now I'm going to use my stamps and my unicorn here as a guide as to how tall my little glitter cloud should be. So I'm using those as a guide, then I'll be able to line up my puffy cloud border, use some low tack tape to hold it in place, and then run it through my die cut machine and get some really awesome glittery clouds. Now here I have You're Awesome from So Much to Say. I thought it would be a perfect thing to go along with my 80s theme. So I'm going to stamp that in some black licorice ink on my mermaid cardstock panel. And now I'm going to take the heart from Booyah. It's the perfect heart to add to my unicorn because I don't know about you guys, but I loved My Little Ponies as a kid. So I just had to have that heart on there because it just really reminded me of My Little Ponies. So now that I've added on my little puffy cloud borders with some foam tape, now it's time to add some foam tape to the unicorn too, and then more foam tape to put it on top of this awesome pink and black little stripy backdrop. And then now I'm going to add some glitter because I think unicorns always need glitter. So I'm going to add it to the heart and the hair and the horn, of course, and make it nice and glittery and sparkly. And then I can cut a standard size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and lay the entire panel right on top. And then now I've got this card that I think would make anybody's day. It's super funny and super cute and glittery and happy. So I just love it. And then here is a look at both versions of Stripey Backdrop. So this is Flower Border and Stripey Backdrop, and I just love these two brand new dies. The Flower Border is great for creating scenes, and I used it in the Intro to Fairy Friends video to create this cute little fairy garden. And then Stripey Backdrop can be used in the traditional way to create stripes like on that unicorn card, or you can layer it to create a lattice, which I think is so pretty for flowers and for spring. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!